Hello and welcome to another episode of Step Into My Office. Today's topic is going to be professional wrestling during the pandemic. As you know, most professional sports entertainment, or just entertainment itself has been kind of on hold during this pandemic. All the independent pro wrestling circuits have actually been shut down or put on hold for now, at least until some look like they may come back around the fall. Two groups have currently stayed going during this whole time. So we're going to start off today and talk a little bit about the two. They are AEW and WWE. First, let's talk about AEW. AEW did some live taping early and thought they had enough to cover through the pandemic, but unfortunately, that didn't work out. It went a little more serious than people thought. So they have gone to doing their tape shows with no audience, which actually it's odd at first when most people watch it, but if you're a really true fan, you'll like it, you'll enjoy it. Where this seems odd at first, it's really good, especially for the young wrestlers trying to learn their craft. The veterans, they already know about working in these kind of environments. They have been to house shows going, paying their dues with little to no audiences, very quiet, that they have to make it happen. Or if they've ever been on a tour of Japan, most crowds there are pretty quiet. They applaud for high spots and such, but for the most part, they quietly seriously watch the sport and treat it as such as that it's a sport. Now, some of that has changed a little bit with New Japan, as I saw in the last year. They've become a little more westernized, and they do get a little more cheering into it and a little more shouting, which is nice to see. But for the most part, if you've worked there during that time, with the Japanese fans, you learn to try to make things as far as your movements and such, get people involved. For the younger people, it's a good chance for them to see how to get a reaction. The vets know how to pop the audiences with their proven moves and talk. The young wrestlers need to learn how to talk and do body character motions that get people involved, not just wait for the crowd to pop, but how do you make them pop? And this is a chance for them to hone it a little bit during this time. Take some key from the veterans and watch them a little bit. What's interesting for this point in time is that with no audience involved, you can actually hear the interchange between wrestlers, each other. And if you're a really good talker, that helps out a lot because you can help get over that story just by your exchange. Unfortunately, when you go to live shows or pay-per-views, the crowds are so loud you can't even hear what they're saying. You just got to kind of see what they're saying unless they've actually got a mic in their hand. So this could be a good time for people to pick that up and learn. AEW, I got to say, they've been doing an outstanding job with keeping it together, keeping it going. They're a young company with a lot of young up-and-coming talent, and doing the shows with the pay-per-views and the live TV shows with no audience. They haven't skipped a beat. The last pay-per-view that AEW did was outstanding. They took a cue from WWE, from WWE, and did a cinematic match. A few cinematic matches, but this one in particular was called the Stadium Stampede. That, to me, so far in their company history, was the best match so far. So much entertainment, so many people to work with during that thing. It was very fun to watch, very exciting to see. You can tell these guys that were in it put everything they had on the line just for that one match. Didn't matter if there was one tomorrow. This was today, and they were making it happen. I don't know which was better, actually watching this, or a couple weeks ago on Talk is Jericho. I heard the Inner Circle get together and talk behind the scenes. The behind the scenes makes watching the match again so much more interesting to see how things happened. That was, again, one of the most outstanding matches they've ever done. This company is making the best out of the current situation they can. And to me, that is an outstanding job. They have two future superstars currently on their roster within the next year, if treated right, can really make it happen. Sammy Guevara is one of them, and Hangman Page is the second one. Sammy Guevara, if he keeps on the path he's on, he will be there, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Hangman Page, though, needs a little more work because his true personality, you just kind of feel, is not coming out yet. He needs a combined effort of Cody, of Dustin, of Jericho, and a little sprinkling of Kenny Omega to try to help him find his inner person just to get over. Because once he's over, the sky's the limit. He's just a little hesitant, kind of a little lost if you look at the way things are going and where he's going. I mean, they're trying to build a character, but he hasn't fully embraced it yet. So they kind of need a little help on that part. So that's my take on AEW at this time. Give me a second and we'll switch over to WWE. All right, welcome back. We're now going to WWE. WWE is a machine that just keeps on running. They were first to do matches without audience, and it was discovered at that time how interesting wrestlers are when they talk to each other. With the crowd noise that usually drowns it out, they had some people that actually started talking to each other, and people actually at home started listening and enjoying it. They were getting the small pops at home. They didn't realize they were doing it on TV, but they were at home and probably to the people backstage watching. They were the ones that brought back the cinematic matches just to get this thing over. To me, so far, their best one was the Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles. That was put together so well. It went the right length and had the right amount of action into it. It's going to be a match that's talked about for years, just because how well it was done. The only issue I had with that match is I didn't care for how they set it up and the ending of the match. Because the ending is fine if you have a decent setup to that. You know, there's a big blow off, you know, a big build into it. But unfortunately, I didn't feel that way. I just came off with the ending like, yeah, okay, you know, nothing big. But if you look at the overall quality of that match, outstanding. I mean, it couldn't have been done any better with any different people. They are back to filming now. WWE has they have a strong advantage with being able to use their performance center in Florida. It lets their younger wrestlers be a little more familiar with their settings, get a little more comfortable. They're also using some of them as extras in the audience, which helps keep it going, you know, during the COVID-19 restrictions. Helps the people that still need that audience feel, give them a little bit of an audience feel. And actually now, as of current date, they're able to allow a limited amount of real fans in the building, some local ones. So, which is really nice because it kind of for the wrestlers tell you we're getting back on track to where we need to be. Two, it's the real reaction where I think the young talent, the development talent, kind of reacted how they felt like they should, or, you know, acted it more of just than getting a natural feel like an audience would like myself would react to some of this stuff. So that's actually a good sign. They are really the best at making the most out of any situation they get to keep it going and keeping their brand strong. They do an outstanding job. For them, the only two things I can see for their future that really kind of needs to happen is the championship changes. My two feelings are Bray Wyatt needs to go back to be a champion. The only reason why is because he is the only person I currently feel on the roster, short of Randy Orton, that can talk and make a match interesting and keep people on the edge wanting to see that match, see him beat, see anything. His mic skills are incredible. His ability to work with anybody is incredible. And this is what you need. Nothing against Braun Strowman, but he's just a huge, big guy. And most people watching, you know, an average casual fan, look at somebody going against him like a Dolph Ziggler or anybody like that. They go, he's not going to beat him. He's too big. Where at least Bray Wyatt, you kind of look at a little crazy. He is a little bit bigger than normal size, but his work rate allows you to have that illusion of that somebody could possibly beat him at any time. So to me, it's the perfect setup. The other champion I would like to see changed is Randy Orton. Randy Orton recently was compared to a Ric Flair by Ric Flair himself, saying he's a person that can do anything at any time. And I believe that is true. After watching Randy Orton work with Edge in a couple different matches, my feeling is that he is the Ric Flair of our time currently. He needs to be where Ric Flair was at this point in his career. Ric Flair was still champion, but he was helping bring people up like Lex Luger, Sting, a lot of the young people, Magnum TA, building them into the next generation. And that's where Randy Orton needs to be. He needs to be helping the new talent get up and going. He needs to help bring the next superstars in, which is what they're lacking now. They don't have a future John Cena or anybody like that. That's my thought on the WWE. I'll be back with more. All right, so that was my thought on the big two that are going. Let me bring you up to speed on another wrestling promotion that's getting ready to come back up. Actually started June 15th, getting back into the swing. New Japan has their New Japan Cup Series currently running until I think sometime in July. It's good to see New Japan up. They also, because of the COVID, are running with no audience at this time. And for them, it's a real big teller. If you watch the young talent getting in there to work, it looks more like what they probably do in a dojo workout as they're training to learn the psychology and to learn to work rate and different stuff like that. So you could tell really the difference. When the veterans get in there, and I've seen a couple of them in 6-man and that, it's just like the audience is there. They move no differently. They speak no differently. Their actions are no differently. It's as if the audience is truly there because they know they're there, but they're just on their network at this time. So that to me is tremendous. They're making a big step forward of coming back around, getting it up. I can't wait till we can start bringing tours in and start getting back to full New Japan action. During this time, though, of the Cup, some of the single matches that have been really outstanding to me has been Jack Sabre and Ibushi. Great, outstanding match. Started off really technical. I really am high on Jack Sabre, and Ibushi worked very well with him. Another one was Taguchi and Sonata. Again, what a great job the two of them did. Sonata, to me, is their next star. They just got to figure out how to develop him and get him to that next level. He is your star, your newest young Japanese star for there. The next one was Nagata and Suzuki. Suzuki has been my favorite wrestler always to watch. He reminds me of the old style, the way he comes to the ring and moves around, of a Bruiser Brody or Stan Hansen. They're high motor. They just keep on going. They keep on fighting. They keep doing their thing, and they always have the fans on edge and nervous, especially when they roll out of the ring. Are they going to come at them? Are they going to, throw a chair at them? Or the young boys, are they going to get beat up by Suzuki? So for New Japan, again, I can't wait till they get up and running. My thoughts and processes on there, again, is Sonata and Jack Sabre. Those are my two favorites. Those are my two hopes for a better push for the next coming year. I'm going to talk lightly about Impact, only because Impact has managed to, throughout its recent career, be on channels that I normally, for normal cable channels, especially as in the last few years, most subscribers don't watch or are able to watch. They're currently on Access TV, and my cable network calls that a pay channel. When they were on the Discovery Network or whatever it was, that was a pay channel. I'm hearing they're trying to get up and running as well. I don't know about their tapings. I do know they have a little controversy currently going on with Joey Ryan, Dave Christ, and Michael Elgin. All have been involved in one way or another of sexual abuse accusations by wrestlers, either wrestlers or fans. in the company or in the business industry. So that's going to change a little bit of what they were trying to do, especially seeing as Michael Elgin was getting ready for, a main event run on their next pay-per-view. That kind of hurts a little bit. Again, Impact, it can be a good show, but it's going to have to be rebuilt. I know they're currently trying to rebuild, and you've got some good mind talent up in there as far as people who are working the top. But their talent they've got just is not enough to get it over. And even watching it on YouTube, it's not enough for me to go. If I have my choice between that and NWA, I think NWA has a stronger chance of being the next, fourth contender in the world of pro wrestling. So those are my views for today, folks. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, hit the like button at the bottom. Subscribe if you really like it and want to hear new things. I want to thank you guys for listening. And again, welcome. You've just heard the latest episode of Step Into My Office. Thank you.